Hey, what's up, YouTube family? Hey, welcome back on another live stream. I'm going to get the rest of our platforms synchronized real quick, so give me 1 second to get in. Hey, we are now live on our Twitter platform. What's up, guys? Hi. Let's go ahead and get this triple stream going. Also going to be going live right now on Facebook. Going 3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Bam. Yes. Okay. So welcome, ScaleLab community. I'm going to make sure. Bam. Welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to be talking with Bryan here. So Bryan, what do you do at the ScaleLab team? I want to give you
Oh yeah, sure. So my name's Bryan. I head up the audience growth department here at ScaleLab. So basically, it's my job to work with all of our creators, especially the largest ones in the network, to provide them with strategy and optimization advice to help basically get your channel to the next level.
I love it. And VidCon is basically a great place to go to help you kind of level up. But for those just kind of not in the know, going to give a brief synopsis. What the hell is VidCon?
So VidCon is a huge video conference with over 120,000 people in attendance. It's massive. So it's in Anaheim, California every year, and it's considered basically the largest industry event in digital video. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it basically brings everyone from around the world. That's what I love, is that it feels like it's an international kind of conference.
Yeah, it's very international, and it's massive. So a lot of great updates come out of it every year. Additionally, it's a great place for creators to get together and meet up. It's really cool. So a lot of good things come out.
Now, something that I thought was really interesting, because from someone that's never been to the convention, I just think it's all one big conference center. But there's actually different tiers, different levels. Can you kind of give us a breakdown of what those are?
Yeah. So there's a few. You can do 3 different passes, but the one we did, which are the most expensive, is the industry pass. And so the industry conference panels are all held in the 3rd floor of the Anaheim Convention Center. So it's a 3-story huge complex. And so the 1st floor has the expo hall, which is where a lot of brands set up their booths and have sort of experiential marketing booths set up. And then the 2nd floor has some community panels, and then the 3rd floor is industry only. So those are basically the head honchos of a lot of big brands and companies that you know of. They're executives speaking on panels with industry updates and just a lot of really interesting discourse around a lot of subjects in social media, especially with digital video.
Yeah, I know this is also I think the first year that VidCon actually owned VidCon. Was there any brands that you weren't expecting to see on that top 3rd industry floor?
Not really. It was pretty much everyone that you would expect.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting to see a lot more of a Twitch presence this year. That was something a little new.
Yeah.
Aside from that, it was pretty much every major player that you would imagine. So yeah.
Okay. So talking about the panels that are happening on these different floors, what's the kind of difference between the creator panels and the industry panels, and then what were some of those panels that you attended?
Oh yeah. So the creator panel, or it's the community track, either or. It's a little bit more of a workshop situation. Most of them are workshops where you can kind of go together, and a lot of it is open questions on the floor where they'll have a brief discussion and people kind of just go up and ask questions. A few formal presentations as well. The industry track is a little bit more tiered towards professionals, and so it's less for the creator and it's more for the people that work in the industry. So the way they present the information is different, and then of course our topics of conversation are more business related, dealing with just the entire industry of digital video.
That's cool. It's not something where the 3rd floor everyone's in suits and ties.
No, it's pretty casual actually. I mean, I feel like I dress pretty normal, just because I was. But I went back and forth actually, because there's a few community events that I also wanted to attend. So I didn't just do strictly industry. I did go over to some of the community panels as well, just because I thought they were interesting. And I also wanted to sort of see how information is presented to a creator rather than presented to somebody that works in the industry.
That's so true.
Because that's a lot of my job too, right? Is speaking to creators, and so a lot of it is kind of seeing how information is presented in a very easily to digest way. So yeah.
Did you notice that the panels that you sat in on the industry level were a little bit more in deep with the analytics, or use more jargon?
It was more jargon. Yeah, the industry is more jargon, of course, and it's just kind of more fast track. There's just a lot of things that we assume that you already should know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit more accelerated, I guess you could say, whereas the
Got it.
community panels are a little bit more general and
Yeah, no, I like that. So basically, we're saying that in this live stream, we're talking with someone that has the pass that puts you in the fast lane. You know, you're more than just there to just like talk with your buddies. You're like here talking with the industry leaders to learn stuff from those from those people. So that's really cool. Let's see, of those panels, I know
Oh
like
yeah,
any,
let's see. I went to
Yeah.
so I wrote them
Oh, I
down
love
because
it.
we have I went to like so many. So
he's got some notes. I love it. Yeah, notes from the panels. Let's go.
okay, so I did for the community. I actually only did two. I did a workshop on how to collab.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's something that I've actually been working a lot on right now with some of the creators in the network. Is just their collab strategy. So it was really refreshing to see some perspective from some other bigger YouTubers in terms of what they do for a collab strategy, what they find to be most effective. Aside from that, I also did a community panel on how to build a presence on Twitch. So this year I was really focused on Twitch because I feel like I don't know a lot about it. So I thought it would be a good learning opportunity to figure out a lot about the platform, all the different jargon, which I found a lot of. It was kind of crazy how little I actually know. And then the industry ones, let's see, I did how to dominate YouTube trends, secrets to influencer commerce. That one was really cool. YouTube, of course, the YouTube keynote is a pretty big deal. So that's something every year YouTube announces a bunch of new updates, new products, things like that. So that's the big one that everybody goes to. So that's industry only though. And then I did one with Twitch, another one, them talking just about their platform, the psychology of the watch journey, and then last I did a YouTube masterclass with killer tips from YouTube's top experts. And so that's with a lot of people that are scientists in the YouTube algorithm field, sort of all getting together and discussing a lot of best practices. Yeah.
I feel like everyone wants to talk to them first. Whenever there's like a YouTube article, it's always like, where are those experts?
Right, like they're the ones that are the first ones to sort of break all of that or dissect it. And so it was cool to see them all up there having a conversation that was really productive. So
that's so cool. Out of all those panels, is there like any one thing or note or something, like what would you find like the most interesting thing that you kind of learned?
I think honestly the most interesting thing that I learned, aside from Twitch, just because it was so new to me, was probably a lot with the psychology of the watch journey. So I mean that's a lot of what I do anyways, and how I advise creators to sort of optimize their content. And so it was interesting to see it from a psychology standpoint, which of course has a lot to do with it, and just how the human brain interprets images a certain way. It really was very interesting to sort of see how a thumbnail even could be dissected in a psychological way, where you could even say that the most important information should be on the right side of the thumbnail because the human brain reads from left to right.
That's great.
Being attracted to human faces, all those sort of things. So usually we have all this thumbnail advice in terms of how to design it and how to break apart layers, things like that. But this took it a step further to how to actually play on the human brain, which I think is very important as YouTube is such a competitive space.
Man. Okay, everyone right now, leave a comment below whether or not you're watching live or on a replay. Let me know, should I do a follow-up to our previous live stream, top 10 thumbnail tips? Top 10 tips for better thumbnails. Shameless plug there, but another live stream you should check out before we move on. Okay, so learned about the panels. Is there any of the like speakers that you would really like recommend that maybe someone like follow up with or check out? Because I love just learning information, but it's so much about the people, right?
So one of the so actually I went to one other I forgot to mention. It was what was it called? Oh yeah, it was why 2017 sucked for online video. So that one was really
I
good.
saw like a picture from that panel, that like slideshow, and I was like, what were they talking about in that room?
That one was really good. So, and actually my favorite speaker from the weekend was from that panel. Her name is Sarah Whitegold, and she's a YouTube manager based here in LA also.
Nice.
So she was just very well spoken. I thought she made really good points in terms of kind of how there seems to be a lot of just like slowdown in digital video, especially on YouTube, and basically it just seems like people have stopped innovating and creating, and we've sort of just fallen into this loop where there's not actually anything new and exciting coming out on YouTube. So that was very interesting. So yeah, she was someone that I researched a little bit more, and it does seem like she definitely has a good grasp on what she was saying. So I'd say she was really good. Aside from that, it was really nice to see some of these other experts just speak about different things. I mean, we've had a lot of executives from Amazon, from different startup companies that have worked with merchandising, social media, all to service creators. So it was very interesting to hear all their perspectives about how they started their companies and how they see the future of digital video continue to evolve.
That's so cool. Did they give you any insights into like where it's going to evolve past 2017, or is it just like we're stuck in the loop?
Well,
there's no way out?
it wasn't so much of like what we should do next. It was kind of
Yeah.
like let's address the issues of what's going on right now.
Okay. Because
And
there are a lot.
there are a lot of issues. Well, I mean, yeah, especially I think people in terms of influencer marketing. That's of course a huge hot topic in terms of how
Yes.
profitable it is, how successful those campaigns are. So there was a lot of discussion about that as well. Yeah.
No, that's cool. I love a lot of really good information, not only just for the creators, but it sounds like too, I think one of the cool things that VidCon sounds like it's a place to educate industry leaders, people that are just
Yeah.
in media but are still slow to this whole, like you said, influencer marketing.
Right, yeah, and so we'll see. I mean, it definitely seems like there will be a lot of tools coming out soon to sort of measure a lot of that a little bit more effectively.
Okay.
So yeah, it was very interesting. But yeah, Sarah was my favorite one.
Oh, that's
I think
good.
that's
Sarah.
right, yeah.
What was your last name again? Check her out.
Michael.
Okay, I'm gonna put
Yeah.
some information in the description of this video.
Yeah,
You can go check her out. Okay, so so I love hearing from you from the industry side of, like what industry people can do. I am kind of curious, what would you recommend is the best way that like a creator can benefit from attending VidCon?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the biggest reason to go would be to network and to find other people
Yeah.
to collaborate with and just to sort of draw inspiration from. YouTube is such an amazing platform because of the community that you can really gain internationally. And so
Yeah.
having that worldwide impact is really awesome to be able to all be in one place and sort of bring faces or real life faces to the faces you see on your screen.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's probably the most important reason to go. Aside from that, there's just a lot of information. So as I mentioned, I already went to a lot of panels myself. There's a whole other track that are just for creators. And so if you're looking to really take your channel to the next level, and not even just with YouTube, with any digital platform, there's so much good information there. So I'd say it's definitely worth
Just
buying
exploring.
a ticket and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good to hear that it's not just for YouTubers. I'm surprised to hear that there's such a big presence of Twitch. So like you would say anyone that's interested in digital media should just go.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's where everything, sort of anything digital video, this is where it's coming out of. So, I mean, Instagram or IGTV launched on Wednesday before VidCon. So,
Yeah.
same thing. So on the expo floor, they had a huge booth that was set up for IGTV, and it was kind of like their launch booth.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. So, Instagram,
Yeah.
not much Twitter this year, but Instagram, Facebook Live, of course, was a huge presence as well. YouTube, Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, it is funny. I feel like with consistency, almost every year after VidCon, the week following, it's just every app in my phone does some big update or some new feature introduction.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. Guess I must have announced something. I love that you were talking about the expo floor because I feel like as someone that's looking from the outside in, that's the thing that you get the most coverage of because everyone has access to the expo floor.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how crazy is it on that floor? I get the sense that it's a lot of like preteens running around screaming for
It is. It feels a little like, it feels kind of like a play gym or
Okay.
like a McDonald's.
just
Like
just
the
a
play,
little.
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no,
and like
it's a little
there
play gym.
literally were like at least 3 or 4 ball pits. So like
Literal
very-
ball pits.
literal
Oh,
ball-
I didn't think you
Yeah,
meant
so
that
it's very
serious.
like it's very photo op ready. I mean it's a little cheesy, but it's cool.
Yeah.
There was some fun stuff in there. I love the Instagram, the IGTV.
Booths,
was
presents,
cool.
right? I don't even.
MTV had a really cool one for MTV Cribs. I think maybe they're bringing it back.
I was about to say, I hope they bring it back.
Yeah, so that one was pretty funny too. So that was more of an experiential walkthrough. It sort of felt like a Candytopia situation or
Oh,
like
okay.
one of the
Yes.
Instagram museums. It sort of had that
Yep.
feeling. So yeah, I mean, there's some fun stuff there. Nickelodeon had a really hilarious Double Dare challenge area set up as
Yes.
well. So there a lot of
Oh.
throwbacks.
I was about to say, everyone's bringing back everything.
Yeah.
If you were raised in the 90s, this is the time
Yeah,
to
this is the
start
time to-
watching stuff. Everyone's
So,
bringing it back.
Yeah, but Expo it's cool. Of course we were busy a lot with panels, so we didn't get to spend a lot of time down there, but we did
Gotcha.
go through a few times, and there was nice nice things to see.
Right? Is it a lot of just like apps talking like that? I'm trying to get a feel. Does it feel like a more industry convention, or is there like little souvenirs? Is there like things that normal people could go in and just like?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few like freebies. I'm like kind of like a cheesy. I love all that free
Oh,
stuff. So
yeah, that convention
I didn't
swag.
actually get much. I wasn't really looking for it though. Like if I was on a hunt, I'm sure I could have found some, but no, not this year. Yeah.
Right. How much swag do you walk away from VidCon?
Yeah.
There's a lot of merch tables. I saw that online.
There was a lot of merch. Yeah, there was
right?
a lot of merch.
Like if you're a high level content creator,
Yeah.
you have a merch booth there.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
Joey Graceffa's his
great.
merch booth was probably my favorite though. In terms of like design and how all the merch looked, it was pretty cool.
Okay,
There was definitely a lot, I'd say.
Yeah. No, and people have different styles, go with the influencers. I love we got a couple of questions coming in on the live stream.
How much time did you spend on the expo floor?
Okay.
And what fun stuff did you do? So like expo floor, on the last day after we kind of finished, we went back to sort of like mess around a little more, and so we did some fun stuff. There was like a world of dance thing with like a little like mini rave, and so we walked through that. We did the MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
There's a few YouTube. There was and in the expo hall. That's also where they have the YouTube creator panels. So that's like kind of where YouTubers get on stage. So we caught a little bit of that. So it was
Yeah, I was gonna care because I do know there are these like social events that are like more than panels, more than the expo and stuff. They're almost like, did you go to or hear about any of the after hours like VidCon?
Yeah, like we did quite a bit of that also. So a lot of it,
Alright.
especially and that's kind of I guess where you see more of the larger YouTubers and then a lot of the industry people as well. So we did have to go to parties each night also.
Love it.
Yeah, so and that's with other big names and it was so that's a lot of fun. But that's a lot of part of it also is us networking. And that's where you network is at the parties.
It's such a mixed mingle of like, okay, it's cool to be here, but it's like you're here with like business cards in your hands with a purpose.
Yeah, it's like strategic party, which
Right.
that's what we're there for though, so it was good. What fun stuff did you do? Well, I mean, honestly, the expo hall was pretty fun.
Sounds like that's the most fun. It sounds like there's like industry level panels, like a little bit more accessible panels, and then just like fun booths.
But I mean, for me, like because it's so much of what I do, like the most fun I had was honestly in the psychology of the watch journey, which is like very nerdy, but that's what I do. So like it's very interesting to see that. So I mean there was definitely some fun stuff, but I think that would be my highlight of the weekend was the psychology of the watch journey. More than the parties actually.
I feel like I'm gonna try to like find that like stream or that like panel like somewhere online and stuff. That's great. Okay, before I open it up, because we're opening up to our like questions, which if anyone does have any questions, if you're joining us on any of these live stream channels, like feel free, send us a comment. We're gonna try to catch them all. Because this is the time to like learn the secrets from the third floor. I guess one of my last questions, like, was there anything about the weekend that surprised you?
Well, okay, so in terms of what surprised me, I think obviously TanaCon was crazy.
TanaCon, tell me a little bit about VidCon's like redheaded stepchild. What is TanaCon first for people that don't know?
Yeah, so I mean, Tana's a huge YouTuber, and so she had an event at the Marriott, which is across from the Anaheim Convention Center where VidCon is, and so I think they had done like pre-sale tickets for 5,000 people, but then 20,000 people showed up unticketed, so everyone like flooded the hotel, and they had to shut down the event. And it was just like insane. But I think what's I mean that in itself is an isolated incident. It was just probably poor planning, but it is interesting to see how many people come to show love and support for their favorite creators. So that was very cool. I think in general, what surprised me was just sort of seeing how people reacted when they would come across somebody that they love and follow online. And so it's a lot of so being able to interact in person with people that you have followed for so long and feel like you're personally connected to them was really good. There was a few good speakers also. One in the YouTube. Oh, let's talk about the YouTube keynote also.
Oh, okay, perfect.
The YouTube keynote was really good. There was one creator, I forget her name, but I'll have to look it up, but she's a psychologist, and so she was kind of sort of talking about how her channel has really benefited people that are suffering with mental illness, and how her channel has saved lives, and people have written her before to say that she, it was like a very touching moment, so that was really awesome as well.
That's so cool. And not only just being like, oh, this is my story, but using the psychology, science behind why this is effective and why we're doing it.
It's cool because I think that people assume YouTube is just sort of like, people have, I think, a lot of preconceived notions in terms of what YouTube is. And this weekend really did break down a lot of that for me. I'm like, wow, like, this is an amazing place for people that belong to so many different communities. It's not just vloggers, it's not just beauty, it's not just gamers. There's so many ways that you can utilize YouTube for your benefit, and so it's kind of crazy. Like, you really can do anything with YouTube. So speaking of YouTube, I'll go over last a few updates. So they did release a bunch of new information. So let's go over some of that. So a lot of it this year is about how helping creators monetize in other ways, and so we already know about YouTube Super Chat. They did come back finally with some stats on that and said that 65% of channels that have used Super Chat doubled their income during live streams. So definitely enable Super Chat if you can.
That sounds like instant money. Just
so it seems like people that's been doing well. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Aside from that, they are testing out channel memberships, which Twitch already does have. I didn't know, but and so that allows fans to pay a monthly fee to receive some sort of exclusive content, whether that's videos, different interactions, things like that. So another way to sort of support your favorite creators and make sure that they can keep their content rolling out.
Totally. Just making it easier too, because there's like other avenues to do that, but it sounds like YouTube's just bringing it all in house.
Exactly, yeah. And so that one's a little bit more exclusive right now. That one's only for channels that have 100K subscribers or more. So you have to be a bit larger to access that feature right now. Usually they trickle down over time though. So
exactly, beta.
And so now there's also going to be a merch shelf on the YouTube watch page.
Now that's I've heard of.
Yeah, you've heard of that. So this one's pretty cool. So with this one, you will be able to sell your merch, or if you're working with a company, things like that, you'll have a little widget that you can plug in on the watch page. So it's just another way to sort of make your present with whatever you're trying to sell. That one's available for 10K plus.
Nice.
And then also, I mean, we've already seen this already, but they announced it again, the ticketing. So if you see an artist that you follow, and they'll have their shows linked, and you can actually purchase tickets through the YouTube watch page.
Yes, that's so cool.
Yeah, actually, I've used it once, so that's very helpful for me to sort of see when someone that you love is in your area. So it's just an easier, more streamlined process to sort of bring the whole purchasing process back together. Aside from that, let's see. Oh yeah, so then another big thing for live streaming is going to be premieres.
Oh wait, okay, talk to me about that. I know so little about this.
So this is rolling out soon. They said within the next few weeks, so I'm assuming it should be any day now. And so basically you can debut a pre-recorded video as a live moment, as a premiere. So it's sort of mimicking like maybe a TV show premiere or something like that. So you can have everyone know when the video is about to drop, and then but it airs as a live stream. So then once it's out, people can watch it live, and then you can interact with your community during the launch date, things like that. So,
that's so cool, because it's those first like 24 hours for 48 hours that are like so crucial to a video. So if you're saying, if I'm hearing it right, you can just have live stream already built in this little live stream audience, people that are already watching, and then you just click go, premiere the episode, and now you immediately have all those live stream viewers like flooding that new video with views.
So it's very smart, and it also just helps sort of bring anticipation, so a lot of that is getting people hyped up and excited, and it does help you with that initial view count that you want your videos to have. So that's a really good one. Let's see, vertical video they're improving as well, so that should be just a better formatting situation for the YouTube mobile app. Let's see, YouTube stories, so they're
YouTube's getting
another copycat. So now we have YouTube stories also. Creators with over 10,000 subscribers can set up stories, and it'll be very interactive with their channel. They can promote their videos through stories. There'll be a whole sticker package. So kind of Instagram, but apply it to YouTube. So that's coming out.
That's cool. So YouTube stories with the swipe that goes directly to the YouTube video and all that. Stickers. Oh, snap. Okay.
And last thing, they really did emphasize the community tab, which I think a lot of people sort of undervalue. And I always tell my creators as well, this is something you should absolutely be using on a daily basis. It's so important to connect with your community at all times. And so they said that over 60 million users click or engage with the community post tab every day. So just keep that in mind. It's definitely a place where you want to stay active and post exclusive content, and it's just another way to connect. So that's kind of always my strategy when I talk to creators is helping them understand that any way that you can connect with your audience, go for it. So any stream of communication, community posts, responding to comments, replying to tweets, replying to Instagram DMs, anything. If people are reaching out to you, it's really important to foster that relationship.
That's awesome, and I love that it just sounds like YouTube every year is just trying to make at least more and more ways to have that engagement built in and stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Everyone's got stories. 2018, everyone's coming for the stories.
Everyone's coming for the stories.
Right, everyone's coming for the stories. Bryan, this has been such a great conversation. I want to at least leave it open for like another minute or two to make sure.
Do you have any other questions? Let's see.
Right, let's see. Any other questions coming through?
Can you buy a drone on the expo floor?
Can you buy a drone? Right, is there a drone presence? Like,
there is a drone presence. You actually can, but there. That's funny.
Right. Was it, don't tell me, were there drones just flying over everywhere? Do they have them caged?
Yeah, so last year our COO George, he bought a drone at the expo hall.
Okay.
But then he wasn't allowed to fly it. It's actually a closed campus, so you can't fly the drone.
That's so sad.
And so I'm assuming he's the one that asked that question.
Look good. You know your coworkers when you know who they are just from the questions that they ask. That's how tight we are here at ScaleLab. Okay.
No, I'm just getting trolled by.
Listen, the best live streams to track trolls. Okay,
yeah, I'm controlled by my own coworkers, so that's how we know it's
the family love.
Yeah, the family love, of course. But that's our vibe in the office. You know, like we're a pretty close-knit group, so we're always picking fun of each other. So VidCon's also fun for that, just for us as well, because we all get to hang out outside of work and have a fun weekend, and you know, it's a good bonding experience also. I'd say it's very team building oriented, so
that's cool.
Good. Yeah, they got to see me cry during the YouTube keynote when it was like such an emotional story. You can find it on YouTube actually. They have the keynote up.
That's awesome. Okay.
But she started crying, I started crying, and then like
I'm sure half the room was already
it was like so. But then my coworkers were just like looking at me in total humiliation that I was doing that.
Look, big boys can cry for YouTube. Okay, we can cry. It makes an impact, right? It affects people. It affected me. But that's awesome. Well, guys, this has been great. I mean, if you have here's the thing: if you have any questions that weren't answered, or if you're watching this on a replay view, we are going to have a forum thread on ScaleLab's forum. It's easy, just go to scalelab.com, search for the forum tab. That's a place where you can post all of your questions. If you have any more for Bryan, I'll make sure that he sees all of them, and we'll get back to you guys directly. And just big thank you so much for Bryan for joining us here on the live stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been so good to learning, just more about VidCon, and hopefully, the ScaleLab team will see you guys at VidCon 2019. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right, well, later, guys. Peace out. Say goodbye, Facebook. And goodbye, y'all. And hasta mañana, YouTube.